All right, IM1 classes. Today we're continuing on with our lessons on how to solve systems using elimination. Last time we learned how to use the elimination method, which is if the equations are in standard form, where the x and y are on the same side, and either the x or the y, doesn't matter which one, if one of them has the coefficients on the, let's say the x's on both the equations are the same number, one positive, one negative, you can just add the equations together to get those to cancel out. What we're going to learn today is what to do when it's not set up perfectly for you like that. So let's look at our first example. So we're going to solve using elimination. We have negative 8x plus 4y is equal to negative 24. And then 10x plus 4y is equal to 30. Real quick, let's just look what happens. Last time we just added these together. So what if we just add these together without changing anything? Negative 8x plus 10x is positive 2x. Positive 4y plus positive 4y is 8y. And then negative 24 plus 30 is positive 6. We still can't solve this equation because it still has two variables in it. So this adding them together right away did not help us out. And the reason why that is because both the 4y and 4y on these equations are both positive. So when we add them together, nothing canceled out. So what we need to make happen is when we add equations together, you want a variable to cancel out. And so we can change, there's two ways to go about this. One, you can either subtract the equations. Some kids like to do that. Kids get confused, especially if something down here is like negative, so minus negative starts to get confused. What I like to do over here, step one, I'm going to multiply one of the equations by negative 1. It doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to multiply the top equation by negative 1. So when I multiply that by negative 1, everything in here, negative 8x times negative 1 is positive 8x. Positive 4y times negative 1 is negative 4y. And then negative 24 times negative 1 is positive 24. So really all I'm doing is changing the signs. Any negatives become positive, any positives become negative. I'm going to line up this equation again underneath the first one, so just without changing it. So 10x plus 4y is equal to 30. And now, if I add the equations together, 8x plus 10x is 18x. Negative 4y plus 4y, now that cancels out. Since I had one positive, one negative, now it cancels out. 0, so I can just cross it out. 24 plus 30 is 54. Last step, I want to solve for x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 18. And I get 18 divided by 18 cancels out, so there's just x is equal to 54 divided by 18 is 3. So x is 3. Still need to find y. Now it's the same thing. I need to substitute it into one of these equations. I can even use the new one that I found by multiplying. It doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to use the bottom one because everything is positive. So this x is going to go in to the x here. So it's going to be 10 times x. I'm going to replace the x with parentheses, plus 4y is equal to 30, and x is 3. So now just solve the equation. Multiply out 10 times 3 is 30, plus 4y is equal to 30. Eliminate the 30 on the left side, so I'm going to subtract 30. Minus 30, this cancels out. And I just have 4y is equal to 30 minus 30 is 0. I'm going to put 0 on this side. And now you divide, you get y is equal to 0. Last thing, make sure you write it as an ordered pair. So it's going to be x is 3, y is 0. All right, let's look at another example. So again, if I look, the x's have the same coefficient, -2 and -2. So if I add this together, nothing is going to cancel out. So I need to multiply one of the equations by -1 to get a +2. Doesn't matter which one you multiply. I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top equation. So multiply the whole thing by -1. When I do that, I get a +2x plus 10y is equal to -8. Gonna line up this equation underneath it. So -2x minus 7y is equal to 2. Add them together. 2x plus -2x, that cancels out. 10y plus -7y, that is a +3y, is equal to -8 plus 2 is -6. Last step, I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And just be careful with the negatives. You're going to get y is equal to -2. -6 divided by 3 is -2. So there's my y. Now I need to substitute it into one of the equations, top or bottom, it doesn't matter. They both look about the same number of negatives. So I'm going to take my y and put it into the bottom equation for there. So make sure your last one, we substituted in for x because we found x. This one we're substituting for y because we found y. So make sure you're paying attention what variable you found. So change the y to -2. And then solve. Be careful when you multiply here. Since this is -7 times -2, I'm going to treat that -7 as a -7. -7 times -2 is +14. So you get -2x plus 14. Next step, I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. Get -2x is equal to -12. Last step, I'm going to divide by -2. Forgot to cross that out. This cancels out. And then just be careful with the negatives. You get x is equal to +6. So last step is you need to write it as an ordered pair. The 6 goes first, so it's 6. Y is -2. All right. One last example. So again, if you look at the equation, the y's will eventually cancel out, but if we just add them together, since they're both negative, nothing's going to cancel out. So to get this to cancel out, I want to multiply one of the equations by -1. I'm going to do the top since it's all negative. That'll just give me more positives to work with. So I'm going to multiply the top by -1. And there I get a +3x plus 2y is equal to +29. Take the bottom equation, line it up underneath our new one. So 8x minus 2y is equal to 4. And now add the equations together. 3x plus 8x is 11x. 2y plus -2y eliminates. And then last, 29 plus 4 is 33. Solve for x in this case, that's what's left over. I'm going to divide both sides by 11. Times 11 divided by 11, this cancels out here. And I get x is equal to 3. Substitute into one of the equations. I'll just use the bottom one again. Again, you can use the top, but there's a lot of negatives. It says less negatives. So bottom equation it is. So the x here, you can substitute right in there. So I'm going to change this 8 times x and change the x to 3. Minus 2y is equal to 4. Input that 3 right there. Now I'm going to solve. have to multiply first. So 8 times 3 is 24. Minus 2y is equal to 4. Here, I'm going to eliminate the 24 since it's positive. I need to subtract 24 from both sides. So positive 24 minus 24 cancels out. You get negative 2y is equal to 4 minus 24 is negative 20. Again, since this is minus 2y, that negative stays with the 2. So it's a negative 2y down here. Keep track of those negatives. Last step, divide both sides by negative 2. So times negative 2 divided by negative 2 cancels out. You get y is equal to negative 2 divided by, or excuse me, negative 20 divided by negative 2 is positive 10. And then last step, write it as an ordered pair. X first, so x is 3, y is 10. So that'll be it. If you have any questions, make sure you email me. Other than that, we will see you guys next time.